www.brandonmc.ninja. Only $5 a month for all of my techniques that I teach here at the school at 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu in Decatur, Alabama, as well as my seminars, all get posted to the site. All of the techniques that I put on Facebook for free, my 1-minute jiu-jitsu hacks, everything, $5 a month. Go to www.brandonmc.ninja and subscribe today. BMAX Audio Adventure is brought to you also by Fight Chicks. Go to fightchicks.com for awesome no-gi grappling gear, awesome apparel related to the fight game. You can use the code BAMA, B-A-M-A, to save 20%. That's fightchicks.com. We're also brought to you by M85.com. My man Mike Mons of M85 does incredible design work, graphic designs. You need a logo done, he's your guy. You need t-shirts done, that's your guy. You need some work on your website, I bet he can do that too, but I just made it up. It's M85.com, and if you want to buy some of the t-shirts and rash guards that he's designed, you can use the code BMAC20 to save 20% off of your entire purchase. It's M85. You got to spell it MEIGHTYFIVE.com. BMAC20, 20%. We're also brought to you by Datsusara. Datsusara, in my opinion, makes absolutely the best grappling gear on the planet. 100% hemp. You want a gi? Got you. You need a belt? Got you. What about some shorts? Wearing them right now. Datsusara, it's dsgear.com. And if you use the code 10th Planet Decatur, you're going to save 5% off your entire purchase. dsgear.com. My man Chris is going to set you up.
I will rise above all the pain you.
We are live, BMAX Audio Adventure, episode next, with Alan the Talent Belcher and Brandt Russo. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up? Is this really episode next?
I don't know what episode it is. I don't really keep track.
Oh, okay.
So,
Dude, thanks for having me on, man.
I'm really excited you're here. Finally in Decatur. We just hang out, talk about whatever we want to talk about. We're going to talk about you mostly. We're going to talk about that Johnny Cash tattoo.
All right, let's talk about it.
And y'all got any of that Joe Rogan swag?
No,
where we can spike this iced tea?
No, we don't have anything like that going on here.
All right, I just want to make it clear.
We're not as progressive or cool.
Not in Decatur, Alabama,
or famous.
Well, damn.
If we did have anything, we'd have to pay for it ourselves. So that pretty much rules me out.
I'm hyped up right now on Monster.
I'm
jacked up on Monster.
I never seen anybody crush a Monster that fast in my whole life. That was unreal. You drank one. Johnny Cash tattoo drank one.
Yeah.
And Brandt's.
I'm not even there.
He's a fifth of the way through a
Steven went to move
one.
his can for the positioning for that wonderful sponsorship, and it was just empty. Sucker was empty.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I crushed coffee and Red Bull on the way here too.
Dude, he crushed the coffee in like
a
32-ounce styrofoam cup. He came in
like
thinking
coffee.
It was a gas station Coke. Sucker was coffee. The entire thing.
Well,
and we pissed behind the gas station.
Do we need any break out the meth or anything for you? Are you feeling all right?
No, I'm good.
Okay, but if you do get to a place where you need, another Monster.
Monster is the gateway to meth.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Exactly. Right. Brought to you by Monster Energy.
Nice. Monster.
Monster, feel the meth. Unleash the meth. I don't think they're going to be happy with that particular iteration of the sponsorship.
You just lost your endorsement. You lost your sponsorship.
You have to come get this cooler yourself. That's my cooler.
Nice.
I'll fight them for it.
Monsters against meth.
Change
it around.
There we go. That's
awesome.
really what we're looking for.
That is awesome.
Monsters against meth.
Yeah. I love it. I can get on board.
People still do meth? Or did that?
Yeah, a lot of people still do meth.
Yeah, let's end that.
I don't still do meth.
What's in it?
Let's end that.
I know
what's in meth.
You're trying to make your own. That's his next business venture. He's going Breaking Bad on us. Walter White.
Dude, imagine the chicken liver guy being a meth guy. Like how positive and exciting he would be to tell you what's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Those chicken livers we had coming up here.
I think you got to tell the story a little bit.
Okay, so we were coming up here, and Alan, I love him for a million reasons, but the one reason is because we go to shitty little hole-in-the-wall restaurants, and it's incredible. And
good call, by the way.
We were with Paul and Amy, and they were terrified of the places we were going, but that's just kind of what we do. So we stopped this place called Country Kitchen, both K's. of Chilton County, and I'm so glad Chilton had a C, so it wasn't country kitchen. It was rough, but we walked in this place. They had fried chicken livers. I got them. They were delicious.
They were awesome.
They were like fluffy. It was one of those things that I've never had anything like that in my life, and it was from the most unassuming place in the world. So Alan's like, we should ask this guy for the recipe, and I'm thinking, there's no way he's going to tell us. Like, he was so nice and southern that he was like,
broke it down
for
for
like 20 minutes with like jubilance. He was like, man, I don't just use regular pepper. I use this stuff called, what do you call it? Gunpowder. He's like, it's refined black pepper. Mm-hmm. And I sift my flour, and it's unbleached something flour.
So apparently, if you want really good chicken livers, you got to use self-rising flour
and buttermilk.
Yep.
And he said the secret is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I can't tell you exactly how much of what, because I don't know. I'm not trying to keep it from you. But man, this guy, I mean, I'm thinking I'm never going to be able to make what he just said. But good God, if he was a meth dealer, it would be dope. Actual
Literally.
dope. He was so nice. We almost had to like make him leave the table. Like we just thought we were being nice, complimenting.
Dude, I'm from Lawrence County, Alabama.
Yeah.
I've had some chicken.
These were the best chicken livers I ever had.
Ever.
What was the Chilton County? You know what that is?
Chilton County.
I don't
It was
know
country
Chilton County. Is that
kitchen
in
of Chilton
Alabama?
County. It was
It's not in
I
Alabama.
don't think so.
This was on the way down today?
no. This was on the way up.
Oh, yeah.
It was
okay. I
right
thought you were
before
talking
we
about
got
between
here.
and
It was
Nashville. There's
right-
a Chilton County in Alabama, yeah.
That's
Just
where
a
it
couple
was.
of counties
Country
down.
kitchen.
I
Country
thought you were
kitchen,
saying
man. We
Chilton.
love
Oh,
you
so
guys.
it's that way.
No, Chilton County, you'll go back through on your way
Yeah.
back to
Oh, so we'll
Mississippi.
stop and eat.
If we have time.
Yeah.
It closes pretty early at 3.
They closed on Sunday. I feel it.
No, 10 to 3. I made sure
You
to
already
check because
checked.
we wanted to go back.
No, if you closed on Sunday in Alabama, you're gonna miss all the church traffic.
Yeah, that's true.
They do a buffet, and I asked them. They're like, "Hey, these chicken livers could be on that buffet," and he's like, "Absolutely not." I'm like, "Well, they're really inexpensive. Why not?" And he's like, "They go dry so quick. I want you to have the best experience. They're made to order."
That's
this
my
dude
guy.
loved his chicken
That's
livers.
a man of excellence.
High integrity.
Yep.
Well, there's a place here in Decatur. Well, it's kind of just right outside of Decatur called Dot's Country Kitchen.
Yeah.
And on Sundays, it's this older lady and her family that run it. Mm-hmm. It's just this stone building,
Yeah.
and there's a sign now.
Yeah.
There used to not be a sign.
Uh-huh.
And on Sundays, we're talking about a 45-minute to hour and a half wait to get in the building.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
She just cooks as much as she can, as much as she's got, and then when she's out, the store closes.
Wow.
That sounds amazing.
We could hit that up.
Man, we might have to continue our country kitchen streak
Yeah.
here in Alabama.
Dots is one of the best restaurants
see
of all
that.
time.
God, dog.
I don't want to
Let's
go to
do
that
it.
place. I want to go somewhere. Are you going to be hungry after this?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hungry during this.
Okay. Me too. Oh, when the monster kicks in a little bit more, my appetite will probably go away a little bit.
Can go away.
Go away.
think so,
How?
yeah. I don't know. That's just what.
That metabolism
muscle
is jacked
metabolism?
up. You're a mess, Alan Belcher.
I think that's what coffee and Monster does. Makes you not want to eat.
Jeez.
You know,
You're on drugs.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, I like that about you.
Yeah. I'm not hooked. I want off.
Nah, not me. I'm trying to drink as many Coke Zeros as I can. Where did my Coke Zero go? Oh, you stole it to prop up your. That's okay. Hey, listen, you got this.
Take your Coke.
Prop
I
it
know
up.
what happens when you don't have your Coke Zero.
I gotta have a Coke Zero.
I'll just hold it over here.
That's okay.
I got a steady shaking hand.
You can't
Steady
use your
shaking.
little flap to kind of hold it. That won't work.
Okay.
You can try.
That'll work until it doesn't work anymore.
Pretty sure Steven's on the hunt. If
Yeah,
not,
Steven jumped up and stepped out to grab it.
The
So
audio
tell me,
guy's making all kinds of noise.
what in the world are you doing in Decatur, Alabama?
Came to see you, duh. Yeah. I've been trying to get up here for a while, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a funny story.
Okay, tell me this.
So, when I was, actually, I'll tell you about the first time I met you. I'm sure you don't remember this, but I remember it vividly.
Have we ever talked about this before?
I don't know if we have or not. I
Okay.
probably told you. I can't. I'm kind of stupid and I repeat myself a lot, so I'm sure I've
Yeah.
told you before. But you said, yeah, you are. Thanks, Alan. The first time I met you was in Washington, D.C. I went to a business conference when I was a blue belt.
Oh, really?
And you were there.
Okay.
And there was a training. We went and trained jiu-jitsu at the same place afterwards.
Oh, shit. Are you serious?
Yep. And
We might have talked about
I
that
rolled
once.
with you. I like.
Wait, you were a blue belt?
I was a blue belt.
Wow.
Yes.
You rolled with me?
You were an active UFC fighter at this time.
Are you serious right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. And we rolled, and Alan put me in the truck. I had him in rubber guard. I had you in rubber guard for
What? Are you
90
serious? Are you
seconds, 2
serious
minutes.
right now?
Yep. And I was trying to do something. I couldn't because they got that big, broad shoulders, Johnny Cash tattoo just popping out of the rubber guard. Whap, whap. And, then, of course, he escapes the rubber guard that I had, my blue belt rubber guard that I had him in.
Nice.
And then he puts me into the truck, and he calf cranked me into oblivion. And that is how I met Alan Belcher. And it was so
That's
not
cool.
memorable for him.
Well, the thing is, he's been drinking Monsters and coffee for a very
for a
long time.
time.
Wait,
Were you-
I'm pretty sure that we never talked about this.
No,
before.
maybe.
Were you
maybe
10th
not.
Planet then?
Yep. Yeah, I've been
Awesome.
10th Planet from all of my jiu-jitsu ranks are from Eddie.
Wow.
So all the way up. So we opened
we
this place when
never
I was a
talked
blue
about this before. Really?
Yeah,
This really
that's what went
happened?
down. Now let me tell you something.
Okay. I remember the night because there was the little guy from Grappler's Guide was there.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yep. Jason
And,
Scully. He was
Alex, our buddy Alex, that I can't remember his last name for some reason right now.
there. Vamos?
Vamos, duh. New York, he was from
Yeah,
there, right?
I don't know him, but I know who you're talking about.
Did we go eat at a chicken place?
Oh, I didn't hang out with you guys. You just beat me up and then moved on to the
But so you didn't
actual
take
people.
You didn't take the van. We all took a van.
Yeah, I rode in that van with you.
Okay. Okay. You just turned it all off, didn't you?
But then I think I caught a cab back to the hotel or something after
Oh,
training
okay.
or something.
I guess
I
after
didn't ride back
training
with
we
y'all.
went to like a chicken.
I think all the cool people went somewhere afterwards.
Okay.
And then I didn't qualify.
Trying to reconnect.
So
Not really.
Having some.
Alan's having some Instagram live issues over there. Oh, there he goes. Steven, we got you on it. Steven's on the job. All right, so now I'm going to tell you about
that
the
helps.
first time I almost met Alan Belcher.
What?
This is the first time I almost met you.
Okay.
All right, so I'm still a blue belt. This is actually right before that.
Okay.
And it's going to tie into that story.
You realize, though, that he's been holding on to these stories because he knew he was going to have this podcast one day in this
For
room.
10
Yeah,
years
that's
I've
why.
been holding
That's
this.
great. It would be way less cool if I'd already heard this.
So, when we first started 10th Planet, we were at Webster's Karate, right? So that's where I did like my tongue sudo.
We passed it on the way.
Was that the
Yeah,
place with the
that's it.
mural?
Yep, that's
That
it.
place looks so cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a cool place.
Yeah.
Man. Really
Yeah.
great. Really great place. Great
I
people.
recommend most people training here should go there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's not a bad plan, really. So we had the 10th Planet up and going, and this guy gets in touch with me over the like social media, or emailed me or something. I can't remember exactly, but he says, "Hey, I'm looking to open a gym in Mississippi." Or no, he was in Louisiana, like in the New Orleans area. He said, "I'm looking to open a gym, and I want to have a 10th Planet coach because I have a guy who I've been working with. He just signed in the UFC, and I need somebody to help him with his 10th Planet game." And I was like, "Whoa, are you for real?" That's like, because at that time, I never done nothing like that before, you know. And so I was super excited. Blue belt, like, what am I going to show this guy, you know?
Yeah.
And so I can't even remember the guy's name, but I bet I can still find the messages if I went back through it. So, yeah, he goes through like this long, elaborate thing, and he's like, "Yeah, and so me and my buddy Alan Belcher, we're going to come up there and just train with you." And I was like, "Whoa, for real? The real live Alan Belcher's going to come here?" He's like, yeah, Alan Belcher. And so we set it up. He's going to come up, and he's going to come and train at the gym. He's going to bring Alan Belcher with him. And I'm stoked. I'm so fired up. And so I got everybody together that night. We got it planned. He's going to be here, guys, tonight's class at whatever time it was, 7 o'clock. They're going to be up here.
Wow. And I never knew about. Okay. Just
Yeah, no,
kidding.
yeah, here it
There's
comes.
probably a reason why you never knew about it.
Yeah, you can feel it
I can
coming,
see
right?
the ending here.
So we get everybody together. I'm like, "Guys, you got to make sure you're here. Alan Belcher's coming."
That's so
Alan
cool, man. What
Belcher's
an
coming to the
opportunity.
gym. I know. And so we're
Wow.
training. And
This is
then
awesome.
no Alan Belcher. And then I didn't hear from the guy that night. And I didn't hear from him the next day. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy died."
Yeah.
You know?
Of course.
Like, what
He's
happened?
definitely not a con man.
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was though, because there was no like, obviously. So it turns out this guy is like, he's been doing this to a bunch of people, like just telling them, yeah, me and my buddy Alan Belcher are going to come see you. We're going to come train. We want you to teach us some rubber. But there's nothing on the other end for him. Like, it's not a money scam. He's just like trolling people.
Let's find out who this guy is.
I can find out. Like, we could look back through.
And this has happened to other people too.
Yeah. So he was hitting up other 10th Planet schools and doing the same thing.
I changed
He flew
my profile since then. So I'm just saying.
This is before you. But he actually flew somebody out to like the area where his supposed gym was supposed to be. One of the 10th Planet guys, he flew him out there and then didn't pick him up at the airport, and they never heard nothing from him, and the guy was just kind of like stranded at the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he would use my name in that too?
Uh-huh.
And what airport was it? Like,
I think he flew him into New Orleans.
wow.
Yeah.
There's some crazy people out
Yeah,
there.
there's some weird people. So anyway, this dude just turns out to be this total, but I didn't know what was going on with it. But I was like, hey man, you didn't, I was kind of.
You think he could possibly want to
irritated
like
by it.
rape and kill the people, but he didn't follow through with it? He
Maybe,
chickened out.
dude. What if that's what it was? What if he was going to kill me? What if you were going to kill me?
All I know is that if something
was
bad
me all
happens with
along.
Alan, dude, if something goes like south in our business or our relationship, I'm setting myself up to become that person. I'm going to take over his agenda.
I'm a little concerned you might be.
Because you know what?
puts the lotion on
if,
its skin.
If something happens with 10th Planet, and I'm just like, you know what? Screw these guys. Screw Alan Belcher. I'm literally going to become this guy. Because I have pictures with him. I'm just going to shoot.
That makes sense, yeah.
I'm just going to become him.
Yeah.
Why not? It's better than me. Gotta rehab the beast, man.
So we get up there to this business event in D.C. Mm-hmm. We get in that van on the way to training, and that's the first time that I had actually met you. And I go, hey, you're Alan Belcher. You said,
Yeah.
Indeed I am. I said, do you know, and whatever the guy's name, and you're like, very polite, and you're like, no, I don't think I think I know him.
Yeah.
It doesn't ring a bell. And I was like, okay. I was like, tricked again. And then when we rolled, you tried to break my leg.
Wow.
And that's the end of that story. So welcome to Decatur.
That's
Finally
very
made
cool.
it. Started at the bottom. Now we're here.
We're here, man. We're here. This is great. I love it. Those are great stories.
Well, they're not great, but they suffice. Those are my first Alan Belcher stories.
Okay.
So let's talk about what you're up to, man. What just happened in Nashville? Give the people a lowdown.
Nashville, we had MMA, BJJ Business Owners Mastermind Retreat, which means we stayed in a little conference room for 2 days, talked about business, help everyone get more students and build their business up and all that fun stuff, It was awesome. Nashville's a really cool place. And, just fun, man, living the life.
Well, so tell everybody about what you're up to. So since we'll talk about your UFC career in a little bit.
Okay,
let's
we'll
talk about what
that
you're
later.
up to
Since
right now.
okay. Yeah, so the last 2 years, I've been focusing on building our consulting company up, Combat Business Success, working with gym owners, and I was blessed to have some mentors taught me business, and I think I was born with that, entrepreneur hustle gene. So I just always really liked business, and I learned it, got good at it, and then started teaching other people. So I used my influence to reach out to the people that are teaching in jiu-jitsu and MMA and help them grow their business, because ultimately we all want to spread jiu-jitsu, and this is a way that I can do it, or spread martial arts, and this is the way that I can do it outside of my little town. I always wanted to break out of my town, so now we have clients from all over around the world,
So, obviously I know what you're up to because we do business together.
Right.
And, we've become friends over the last couple of years. But I guess maybe for the people that are listening that don't know exactly what it is, so obviously you're into the gym entrepreneur, helping people build up their martial arts businesses, but you've started branching out into, not just branching out, but are into other fields.
Yeah.
So
of course.
I just saw you did this webinar with a bunch of millionaires and stuff. What was that all about?
Yeah, so I got a lot of different stuff going on. So
That's your main MO. Is
Yeah.
you have a million
Yeah,
things going
exactly.
on at one time, all the time.
So I think there's not very many people, entrepreneurs like me, because to satisfy my hunger for variety. Variety is my biggest need, I think, in life. So I embrace that. So I like to have a variety of different things. Like to
Do you
always
view
be
that as
moved.
a strength or a weakness? Or both?
I don't. Is it a strength or a weakness? I don't know that it is. It's probably. That's pretty hard. I don't know. It has to be more of a weakness than a strength. But
Really?
yeah, but it doesn't mean that it has to make you weak and affect you. So I don't try to fix it. I just try to embrace it. So
Know thyself kind of thing.
That's when it
think
becomes
so.
a strength.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. So I mean, the need for variety, everyone has it. I just have it like really intensely, so I get really bored with things. So I like to have a lot of different stuff going on.
You think everybody has that need for variety? Because I feel like some people
It's a
like
human
like
need.
they
but some
don't
people,
want any variety. They want the same. They want routine. They want the same stuff every day.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, it's definitely a human need. So everyone has it to a certain extent. Just some people have it more. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not a
But
smart person, so I'm just
Yeah.
asking you.
Yeah, I think that, some people don't really care much for variety. They want the same thing over and over and over. But yeah, I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum.
It's
for
got to be
sure.
something new every day.
Pretty much.
all time.
Pretty much. I got a lot of different stuff going on, and I like it that way, So I surround myself with people that can keep me organized because I'm unorganized. Very responsible people.
Like Brandt here.
Uh-huh.
We were talking on the way up, and I think me and Alan are a whole lot more alike than we are. Like Paul and Amy, which are the other coaches in our business, they have very type A personalities in very different ways that are perfect because, we all just kind of complement each other really well. Like I began my journey with Alan when we sat down and started to figure out the business stuff, and he showed me the variety because when I met Alan, I was just a member at his gym, and it was funny. He sat me down, and when he hired me, he said, "These are all the things that I'm doing," and it was Duke Rufus Striking University, something with Ben Askren. It was just all over the map, and I'm like, "Good God, I just thought you owned a gym," and he just laughed. It was the funniest thing. I remember that like it was yesterday. But he said, I just need you to keep me on task because I got too many ideas and I'm doing too many things and I'm almost too successful at all of it. I can't figure it all out. And so I sat there like that meme where they're looking at the numbers and confused. I had no idea what was going on, but I figured this was a good guy to stick around. And so it was funny because we actually built our team with people that had similar interests but had very different personality types.
Yeah.
Like very tight with money or wants to control events and figure out timing because I'm a hippie and, he's a genius. And so it's like very similar in that way. So we continue to build our team in a way that helps us be exactly who we are and succeed in that way, which is really cool.
Man, yeah. I think people don't realize how much stuff is going on behind the scenes, really. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on, man.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
So you got the mastermind group,
yeah.
which
So
is like for jiu-jitsu.
I think the best way to explain it is the main thing that we have 3 gyms now. We have our company, AB MMA, which is grown so much more than just one gym. Now it's more of a brand. So we have kind of like a retail side of it. We have the management of fighters side of it. We have 3 fighters in the UFC. We have several guys that are signed right now trying to get into the UFC.
Yeah, so you got Jason Knight, Chase Sherman, Brandon Davis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who else? Have you got any other active on the roster?
Those are in UFC.
Monica
Yeah.
just made it to Invicta, right?
Yeah, Monica's in Invicta.
Monica Medina.
And then we have a few up-and-coming guys, that are kind of from our local area, but we're starting to sign other guys from around the country and
Who's
everything
coming up
too.
next down there?
Actually, there's a couple guys
Cephalou.
like from Italy. Yeah, Cephalou.
Cephalou will definitely.
Tyler Hill.
Cefalou's coming up.
Cephalou will be there. Tyler Hill will eventually be there. Brock Weaver from Mobile.
Brock Weaver's got a hell of a story too, man.
So Brock Weaver is a Native American, lives on a reservation, and he's part of the Mowa tribe, which is not nationally recognized, and it's a political fiasco basically, where they were side by side with another tribe, and they had learned how to communicate with each other, or learn how to work with each other. They're close to Mobile. I think they were like a Choctaw descendants or something like that. I don't know, a different tribe. So the Mowas and some Choctaw. I don't know. I'm probably getting it wrong, but basically
like all of
two
them.
two tribes, and both were poor as dirt. Had no national recognition. They were just kind of like, all these tribes out here supported by the government. We basically, hundreds of years ago, murdered most Native Americans, and then the ones that were left, we said, all right, we'll give you all this land, and we'll give you money, and we'll give you money and stuff. So there's a few, tribes that kind of broke off that never really got a piece of the pie. They just got a couple acres or a couple thousand acres, but really nothing, right? So there's these two that were down by Mobile, and both trying to get nationally recognized. And one tribe says to the other one, you help us get nationally recognized by doing X, Y, and Z, and we'll pay you back the favor by helping you get recognized, right? So basically, they had to throw them under the bus to get nationally recognized and then turn their back on them. So the Mowas are still like living like third world, like
no way.
on the reservation. They have no business. They have no
they
economy.
went in together, and then the one tribe stuck them in the back.
Basically.
Dirty.
Exactly. So that's kind of
dirty
my
biz.
version of the story, and then which is probably pretty close to the truth, maybe
always,
not.
yeah. Of
So
course.
So Brock
You heard it here first.
Brock is the reluctant hero of this tribe. He's their only chance of getting out. They have a debt. They have a big debt. They're in debt as a business. They have no business. They have no economy there. They have no homes. They live in mobile homes and camper trailers out here, and they're all their faith is in Brock to make it to the UFC.
That's a lot of pressure on a guy.
Yeah, but he owns it. He takes responsibility for it. His life revolves around trying to get the publicity for his tribe to get nationally recognized.
Brock Weaver.
Him and
awesome.
him and Justin
And he's a
Rin need to get
badass
together.
fighter.
He is a badass fighter.
What weight class is he?
He's at 155. Yeah.
Where does he train? He trains with you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he trains
Regularly, or has he got somewhere else too?
Yeah. Well, he lives over in Mobile, so he has a few places he bounces around. But yeah, he's over with us a couple times.
He's the first guy I've ever seen with like actually incredible tribal tattoos.
Yeah, real tribal.
Like real tribal tattoos. Like the
So he comes
choker.
out with a whole, feathers and all that, and he has guys with him with drums and all this badass. So they all walk out. And
I want to see him fight.
I'm telling him, him and Justin Rin need to hook up. Big pygmy. Because they do similar things, but this guy is actually like of the tribe, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So that's our management side of ABMMA. So we kind of broke our brand off into multiple locations. We have 3 locations right now. We're going to be opening up a couple more, maybe 2 to 3 next year. So that company is growing. A couple years ago, I teamed up with Duke Rufus and helped launch the Rufus Sport Association, Duke Rufus Striking University, and that whole project got me. Oh, jeez. That whole project kind of introduced me to gym owners and to working with gym owners because we had an association with them, just like you guys have 10th Planet.
Yeah.
I was working with those guys in a different way, and they had a lot of business questions. Like, okay, well, your gym's successful. How do you do this? And I've had mentors help me with my businesses, and I had the dialed in compared to most people. I had the business dialed in
For sure.
So everyone wanted help for it, So once I ended up selling my part of the Rufus Sport Association and kind of got out of that, my next project was just naturally to work with the gym owner. So I was like, I really enjoy doing this, so I'm gonna start a company where we do consulting work and agency work for gym owners, specifically in martial arts, MMA, BJJ. Our tribe of people that we all communicate with and talk with, and we kind of have our own industry. So I wanted to create the best company for doing this in our industry and be the leader of it. So that's what I've been working on the last couple of years. So
It's working.
We've branched out. We have several different levels of programs and coaching. We do an event. We got one coming up in October where we're going to have a conference. About 300 gym owners will be in Destin, Florida with us. And so there's Combat Business Success, ABMMA. That's my main two companies. And then I have other projects
Kind
that
of
I do.
subsidiaries underneath.
Yeah,
those.
other projects and stuff, like one of which I teamed up with my buddy Luke from Canada, and we did a leadership summit where we had all these
Yeah, that's the thing I was asking
we
about.
had these leaders, millionaires, speak and give a lot of business advice, and we did it all online. And then me and Luke, through that promotion, we had we launched like a consulting offer to people, so we would help them with their business or whatever. So we got a few clients from that. One client that we have, we got a few like NFL agents and NFL players, that type of thing. And one of the NFL players is a former NFL player. He's a speaker. So we teamed up with him, and we're doing a public speaking coaching program and a mastermind group for athletes at that level, NFL players, NBA players that are transitioning out of that, and they want to start their own business as a public speaker, as a personal brand, do their own coaching. And we teamed up with Marcus Ogden, to do that. So that's a pretty good sized project that I got going on. And besides that, man, I try to pretty much streamline everything. Just keep it to 3 projects, and then with my money, I'm investing in real estate now. Got a couple houses, and hopefully
And you're
get a lot more soon.
all over the place.
Yes, sir.
So I've been with your consulting company as a client for like coming on year and a half, 2 years, something like that.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Almost
Yeah.
2 years.
In
Man,
the
that's
fall
crazy.
will be 2 years. I think November.
Some of the best money I spend every month. So it's helped us tremendously. I mean, like, just look at this spot,
Yeah,
we
it's
did
awesome.
the tour earlier.
It's awesome. Yeah, when you started, you guys were in the gym. You guys were in another gym.
Yeah, we were inside Bender's gym at that time,
That's
which is
awesome.
like a weightlifting facility. And then we had the old yoga room. We just matted it out.
Yeah.
So we had about 900.
Dude,
almost
that's a
900
great
square feet.
that's a great progression that people could model right there. You want to start teaching people whatever the martial arts that you teach or fitness or whatever, and go into a place like that, start up your business, you get some clients.
Yeah, well, that was our
Scale
second.
up.
That was our second location because we started in Webster's,
That's right.
and that was at the time especially, that was a tremendous blessing. And even looking back, that was like such a great time. Whereas like pressure-free growth, I could kind of pursue, becoming a better teacher. And it was good that I got to do that before I had the pressure of being a business owner, because I got to hone my skills as a teacher and as an actual practitioner
Yeah.
before I had the pressure of like trying to run the business for
course.
real.
Of course, yeah.
Which I think a lot of guys get into. I don't know, they get into the deep water too fast.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's taken me. I've been with it over a
Yeah,
decade now, and so,
You did it the right way.
well, not intentionally necessarily.
yeah.
It just worked out that way. I just had smart people around me, like
Good.
usual.
Good.
But yeah, so we went from Webster's, and then I got hired. What happened was Bender's was looking to add an MMA program at their gym, at their location, because the Bender family, Tom and Amanda, they owned the gym, but their son was a state champion wrestler.
Oh, wow.
Like, so he won the state championship in wrestling, and he wanted to do MMA
Cool.
instead of going to school. And so they're like, all right, well, I guess we're starting an MMA program. Who do we hire? And so they just did a bunch of looking around on the internet, and they're like, well, there's only one guy around here to call. So they called me, and they hired me. So I was an employee of theirs, running 10th Planet out of their facility initially. And and then once it kind of made sense for both of us, we changed that relationship, that structure, but we were still there.
Right.
And then that's when I figured out, like, okay, we need to grow. Like like, we need to really start. This is going to be my full-time job for real. I want to get my wife out of her job. Once I set that as like my number one goal, I want my wife to get out of her job.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to go to somebody who understands this stuff way more than me.
Uh-huh.
And so it was right around that time that you were getting started with your consult. Like, I don't know if you were just getting started,
Yeah.
but I think I was one of the first clients that you
Yeah.
had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were. You were.
I know I was in at the beginning of the mastermind group.
Oh, yeah, you were. Absolutely.
And so, yeah, we went to your first Combat Con event,
Yep.
and then it's been on since then.
You went to the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I guess, no, maybe not the first one.
First one or the second one? It must have
Maybe
been the second.
It must have been the
second
second because we actually like named the company a few months. I think it was a few months after that, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was right around when I got hired in December when we actually we sat down and came up with a name and tried to make logos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool to see it grow. So stinking cool.
You know, it's been fun watching your business grow from my perspective too. 'Cause the better you get at it, the more
Yeah.
it helps me. So I'm just
absolutely.
like, please continue.
Heck yeah, man. And the clients don't even understand that the situation they're in because we're driven by giving people results. Like, if we can't help people out, then we don't have a business.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the best model ever.
So we have to.
Well, that's really every
Yeah.
successful business is built on.
But
that.
you'd
Yeah,
be
oh, yeah.
surprised
Of
how
course, yeah.
many people put image, before actual, like, we're going to give you what worked for us and we're going to tell you exactly how it worked, and it's going to work for you because when it works for you, you're going to refer us or you're going to be one of the greatest walking testimonials, and we're just going to be able to continue to build this momentum and build this business. Like, it's just really a mindset thing because I tell guys when I'm doing a call, a strategy call with a gym owner, and they ask me, well, how does this work and why does it work? And I'm like, look, I can tell you a million things, but what I will tell you is that we would look really darn stupid in this day and age with the internet and all these things to promise you these things and not deliver. I mean, everything is like screenshotted and recorded. So I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, why I'm excited about it. And you're going to succeed and I'm going to succeed and it's going to be awesome because all we're trying to do is get freedom. That's what we want. And then we want to spread martial arts and affect our communities. And so if you want to get better at it, team up with people who, me and Alan and Amy and Paul, we're addicted to learning more and more and more and better ways of marketing and figuring out how to give the world this amazing thing that changed all of our lives.
You guys have got so much information. It's overwhelming. Like, for somebody who, my passion is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and martial arts,
Yeah.
and helping people. And I'm very excited as a businessman.
Yeah.
And I want to be a better businessman. But a lot of times the information that comes down from you guys, I'm like, it's too much. I got to go do jiu-jitsu.
What's cool, because I think it drives you to success because own who you are. If you say, I don't want to do all these goofy pictures, I don't want to market, I want to be the guy that does the podcast and I'm a badass instructor and I love my wife and I'm funny and these are the things I want, then it motivates you to find someone who is passionate about marketing or whatever it is, and you grow, you build a team.
And then I can kind of just copy and paste.
Absolutely.
Or copy and paste the parts that I feel like make sense to me at the time.
Because for me, when I got into the business with Alan, I have a really weird background. Like, I don't know how much you know about me, and I'm not going to get into it right now. But I lived helping people and trying to change people's lives. Like, that was my passion. And it's because it was very similar to Alan when he said, my name's The Talent, and I called myself that because I didn't feel very talented. Like, it was funny. I thought about that, and I'm like, I'm motivated to help people succeed because I've never had my own motivation for really anything. Like, I've never had a clear-cut dream. Like, I love jiu-jitsu, or I want to be a basketball player, I want to be an engineer. I never knew. I legitimately never knew, but I always love, helping people. Like, I get so excited making people's dreams come true and helping in that process. And so when I teamed up with Alan, at the time, martial arts and his gym kind of helped me a lot, saved my life. I reached a lot of my goals. And when I started working for him, I saw how many, like you were just growing and growing and growing at this massive rate. And you were being able, like, I can see you get excited because now you're doing the podcast and all these things are building from that foundation. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I'm just going to go all in. And I don't even know anything about martial arts. Before I went to Allen's school, I never punched anything in the face in my life. But yeah, it's pretty dope, man, just to be able to do this like for a living. Like we literally just research how to do what we do better and then share that with everyone, and we get paid for it.
Very blessed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's been great for me being associated with you guys, not just because of the growth of the gym and like being able to help more people, but like for me personally, like as a person, like it's given me, by having a little freedom in my finances, a little less stress in that regard, it's given me kind of the freedom to do like some stuff like this, like stuff that I want to do.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I'm not talented and like kind of like what you were saying that he said about I'm not very talented, so I'm the talent. You know, trying to talk to yourself. Like one thing I don't know, I like being the center of attention. So like the more stuff that that I can do to where I got to be like, look, it's the Brandon show. You know,
yeah,
like,
that's cool.
That's gives me freedom to, and that I don't know, that helps me to like the more I kind of embrace like, okay, that's
what
the key. You do. That's what you are, Brandon. Then the better everything.
We were talking on the drive
here
here about viral marketing and how more guys, like especially in jiu-jitsu, need to embrace that. Like for instance, we have one of our.
Everybody's so worried about what people think. About
Listen. We have
it don't make no sense.
On the drive. I pay attention. I say, okay, that billboard. Say for instance, it's a Hilton Inn or whatever it is. It says bacon and hashtags, really big with emojis. And I'm like, what in the world? And you look under it, and it says free continental breakfast and Wi-Fi. And I'm like, that's so damn clever. Like, I love stuff like that. But one of our clients was sending us a little, like website lead generation tool for his martial arts business. And he's like, I want you guys to dissect this. And it was the funniest thing. It says, he sent it to us this morning. I'm looking on my phone. It says, your wildest dreams will come true if you try jiu-jitsu. And if you can stick it out. But it's a very serious picture. And immediately I thought of Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, for real.
Like, I will make your wildest dreams come true, whatever.
For me.
And the funny thing is I told Alan, I was like, he's like, what are your thoughts on this? And that's part of what we do in our business. And I'm like, he needs to go full blown, like silly ass viral on this. He needs to. And so we kept developing this conversation. And so me and Alan were like, man, we got to start making some stupid videos and just market jiu-jitsu to that. Because Napoleon Dynamite was right when I graduated high school. It was, I'm 33. And so that's the perfect age to market, like jiu-jitsu to. And most of these guys, it's funny when we tell them that there's almost like they have all this freedom because they're like, wow, that's more me anyway. And I'm like, of course it is. People want you. And especially if you're the jiu-jitsu guy and you're funny as hell or you're clever or you're barn cat and just super weird, man, you got to let people know that. And that's what's going to get you, all this trust, and it's going to make people feel more comfortable. And so, yeah, Old Spice is blowing it up right now with these ridiculous commercials.
Well, there's so much pressure in the jiu-jitsu and MMA world to, quote-unquote, be legit. You know what I mean? And, like, to the respect of,
I understand.
Everybody, like, pushing for the respect of their peers and, oh, he's not a real black belt, he's not a jiu-jitsu, like, that guy, where do you even get his rank from? What's his record? Is he winning? Like, come on, guys, settle down. Like, there's only, like, 3 dudes in the world that are at the top tier. The rest of us are just normal people.
You're just trying.
If we could, everybody could just embrace that, I think we would have a lot more freedom, and we'd be bringing in a lot more people and changing a lot more lives. If we just don't take yourself so serious, man. You're not.
That's true.
You're
People
not the
don't like
champ,
that.
dude.
What you do on the mats is serious. Like,
yeah,
in your mind,
it is serious.
Yeah. But that translates into a whole nother realm, and I think it's like it kind of blurs the lines a little bit.
But treating it like so seriously cripples people.
Yeah.
Like, normal guy signs up at the gym and tries to become a world champion. Like, that doesn't make any sense, man. Like, just settle down, dude. Use this to do whatever it is, like to enhance whatever it is that you want to be and whatever it is that you actually
like,
want
for instance, the video, one of our videos that got the most views from the ABMMA page was Jason Knight training for his fight with Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres. Mm-hmm. And we had one of our guys, Alex Harrell, put on an afro, in the cage.
Yeah.
And, it was just funny. He wasn't offended. It was just, you just got to be who you are and let people know that when they see that, it breaks the stigma a little bit.
Yeah, well, everybody's so there's a ton of people that won't walk into a gym like Alan Belcher MMA Club or 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu because they're like, oh, man,
especially
all those
because you're in a
dudes
warehouse, man.
Yeah, it looks intimidating
from the outside.
On the
it looks really intimidating. That's even why That's why you got to do it. That's why you got to be you, because they're like,
I'm the least intimidating dude ever.
I know.
We have a guy. He's about he's even bigger than Alan. Like, you know, Alan's traps are in the 170-pound weight class all by themselves. But this dude, Zeke, he trains here. He's one of my blue belts. He's 200 and, I don't know, 60, 65 of straight, like, jacked muscle. And so a couple of times, like, people will come to the gym and they'll go straight up to him and be like, yo, how much your class is, man? Like, I'm really serious about fighting, bro. And he'll be like, you need to talk to that guy. And they'll look over at me and go, oh. And then just turn around and walk out. Like, no, I don't want to learn.
But that's what I love about jiu-jitsu, man.
Most people, they see Zeke and they go, oh, shit, that's the guy.
Darn.
And then they find out, wait, no, it's Brandon. Oh, okay. Whew.
That's
Thank
so
God.
funny, man.
Oh, anybody can do this. Whew. You know? And
That's
like,
why you don't want to lift weights.
most people like that I went to school with, especially like people I knew in high school, they'll find out what I do now and they'll say, yeah, there's no way that guy's doing that. You know, there's no way. He can't be legit. He can't be real because he's a dork. Well, I am a dork and I am legit too. So that's the way it works.
My live video's trying to reconnect over here.
Yeah, just turn it off. It ain't gonna matter.
It ain't gonna matter.
Let it die. So I want to hear about. Talk to me about like your career in the UFC.
Okay.
Actually, no. I want to hear about before that. Like, how did you end up in the UFC? Tell me about your training. Like, why did you even want to fight?
I don't know.
What a mistake.
What a mistake. Man, I don't know. I don't think mine was very strategic. You know, I was just kind of, to be honest with you, I really started training martial arts first when I was 8 years old because as a kid, I liked karate, kung fu movies, the Ninja Turtles. And I started martial arts, but then I think I didn't really stick with it. I wasn't really serious with it or whatever. Yeah. And it wasn't really until I started becoming a teenager and you started having all this like ego and pride and you know, this like battle for like who's the best, you know, in the school or whatever, you know, and there's some bullying going on and that type of stuff. So
as a giant dork, I didn't really have to worry about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was, dude, when I was in 7th grade, I was like a chubby, like short kid. Like everyone see, like I'm tall now, but like.
Can you send me picture evidence of that?
No, I'll show you.
I would love that.
Yeah. And yeah, no, when I was below average in height. So like 6th and 7th grade, like all the girls were taller than me. I was like short and chubby, you know. So 7th grade, this kid that was in the 9th grade. No, I'm sorry, 8th grade. He was supposed to be in the 9th grade. Because I was literally 13 and he was 14, but he might have been like a year and a half older. But also
he was almost 15, bro.
He was, yeah, basically.
He was close.
And his puberty, though, he was like 3 or 4 years ahead of me. So he like armpit hairs.
Yep.
I had no hairs in my armpit.
I just grew
no
my first
hairs in
beard
the
like
armpit.
this.
7th grade, my armpits were bald.
Yeah.
All right. And I was short, chubby, and dude, this kid, but I stood up for myself. Like my dad taught me like to never let people pick on me, so I had that in my back of my head. So if anyone ever tried to do anything to me, I stood up to myself, or stood up to him, and most of the time it worked. Except this kid, he wasn't having it. He was a killer. He was 14, but he was just like, you know, the type of person like he would just, you know, he carried a knife and stuff, and he would just like cut your guts out if you messed with it. Like seriously, like a killer. Like I think he killed people at 14. Like he was badass. I think
this is in Arkansas.
I think he was like out of prison. And
is he a Clinton?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So he definitely avoided prison at being part of the Clinton.
That's part of the deal.
So, anyways, so he was like, meet me down. You know, we were on the school bus together, and he was like, all right, well, meet me over at this dude's house. You know, right after you get off the school bus. So I'll tell this story longer later, but ended up, I went down there, got my ass kicked, face stomped in the gravel. Oh. So I had gravel stuck in the side of my in my cheek, and on the other side was a Nike shoe print. My dad forced me to go to school the next day with a Nike shoe print on my face. So that was a life-changing experience for me. That was the most humiliation I've ever felt, ever. So that's really
the
what...
beating or the going to school the next day? What was worse? Going to school the next day.
Well, the beating, I wasn't being humiliated. I was just trying... I was in survival mode.
Yeah.
But, yeah... Walking away from that was pretty humiliating, but going to school the next day was pretty bad. So that just motivated me. I was like, some people would, just go into a hole and just become that weak little person that got their face stomped in and just be that person for the rest of their life or whatever. But I was like, I'm not going to have that. Like, I'm going to overcome this. I didn't think that way, but it was just some like internal, innate motivation to me that I wanted to redeem myself, revenge myself, beat that guy up, and be able to just dominate anyone or whatever. So that's when I was like, forget, I'm going to be like a fighter. It's super weird at 13 years old, but like it was probably weird at that time. It's not weird now for people to think. It's not weird now, but yeah, I was just like, I'm going to learn how to fight, and like I want to fight people, so I don't feel that I want to be on the other side of that. Like I want to humiliate the person that tries to mess with me, So
did you ever get to humiliate this dude?
Not him. No. I think about it sometimes going back.
Well, let's find him.
Let's go do it.
Call him out. What's his name?
Scott Arnold.
Scott Arnold, if you're listening to this.
He's not.
Bring your Nikes, bro.
Yeah.
He's not.
I want you to roll over, tell your boyfriend in the prison cell next to you that you got a beating coming your way.
God. You just got me killed, I think. I don't think he stomps people's face anymore. I think he just shoots them. But,
well, there it is.
Yeah,
I got some cheese stuffed in my ear in the lunchroom one time when I was like in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yep, dude.
I can't even imagine that.
Dude walked up behind. So, like, my number one fear in life is getting dirty. I hate being dirty. I don't like my hands to be dirty. I don't like I know that's like the weirdest thing you ever heard in your life. I hate it. I despise it. If I have to eat pizza with a fork. This dude runs up while I'm eating lunch and shoves cheese in my ear while I'm talking to the girl I had a crush on.
Oh
man.
Just like stuffed us, and I just sat there and took it, dude.
Really?
Yep.
You just took it.
I just sat there and took it. And then the same dude, he slapped my best friend. Like at the time, my best friend, he slapped him in the face. Like 2 or 3 days later, maybe a week later, we were in algebra class, whatever, pre-algebra or whatever it is in the 8th grade, Mr. Westmoreland's class. And Mr. Westmoreland, I guess he had to go to the bathroom or something. He steps out, and Scott jumped up and just whack, just smacked Seath across the mouth. And I just sat there and watched it and took it. And that...
You didn't want to get smacked.
I didn't want to get smacked, but like it fired something up inside me. And
you didn't like the way it felt to just take it like that.
I didn't like watching it more. Like with me, it was just like I was embarrassed. But like when I saw him,
it's way worse when you watch it.
When I saw him smack my friend, it made me want to do something about it.
And you saw your friend get humiliated.
So anyway, that started building a little fire.
Damn.
And then I smarted off to him one day on the softball field during PE, and then I had a Charlotte Hornets hat, a new fitted Charlotte Hornets hat. I was a big Muggsy Bogues fan, and I grabbed he took that Charlotte Hornets hat off my head, and what do I hate? Dirt. He filled it up with sand and stuck it back on my head. And I went nuts on him, dude.
That's funny.
I went nuts on him.
What'd you do?
Well, I broke my hand on his head, so I ended up in a cast, right? I didn't win that fight, but I did break my hand. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't get my tail whooped like I thought I would. I thought
when you punched him hard enough to break your hand, I bet that didn't feel real good.
Yeah, but then Miss Pruitt made us shake hands. Like that's the way it went down where I grew up. Oh, she just let us fight it out, and then we had to shake hands at the end. I had to get a cast on my hand. But anyway, so that dude ends up coming to the school. He brings his kids to the school to sign up, not remembering even, like he picked on so many people, he doesn't even remember that we had gotten into a fight.
He remembers.
Well, maybe he
acted
does, maybe
like
he
he
doesn't.
doesn't.
Maybe, yeah. But I got mine back.
High school's brutal,
When,
man.
when I was a brown belt, I got mine back.
There it is.
You got it back.
I got it back. He tried a free class. One free class.
We never seen it.
And he didn't bring his, he didn't,
Never seen it.
him and his kids didn't sign up.
Damn. So what? You just said, like, come roll with me.
No. He just showed up. For,
No,
like,
I understand. But once he's there,
Well, he
he's-
tried he wanted to try jiu-jitsu class.
Were the kids with him?
These kids tried the kids class, and then he tried.
Well, I bet that funny. Daddy, why can't we go back? We loved it. Let's not talk about that anymore. Nope.
I wish I'd have had some cheese.
Yeah. So how did I want to know what went down? You just
I just
smashed him.
embarrassed him over and over in front of his children.
You tapped him really hard.
Yeah, choked him over and over and over. I try not to arm lock and like joint lock people,
Because if they don't tap, then
because if they don't tap, then I got to break it, or then they think they got out. And a guy like that, I don't want him to ever think he got out.
Right.
So I just had to choke him. It's like you're gonna tap or you're gonna die in front of your kids. Is that bad?
No, that's good.
It felt
I like
good to
it.
me. I'm still pretty happy about it.
There it is.
Good. Okay.
I always remember those. Like, I don't remember the names of the people I competed against, like as a competitor.
Yeah.
But those things like that, I remember. Or got
When you get him back?
huh?
When you get him
no,
back?
I don't know.
Or just
I
when it
remember
happens?
now it's cool. Like, it's all over now.
I remember
I
those
have to get
things
it
too.
back.
Yeah, our high school, I would be bending over to get some water from the fountain, and they'd knee you in the butt so that you went forward and the water got all over your
that was
shirt.
a classic.
And the seniors would turn their rings around and smack you in the back of the head.
Classic,
Yeah, I remember their
classic,
names
yeah.
too. Those
classic move.
buttholes.
Nice.
Let's kill him.
We should.
Let's call up Scott Arnold.
Dude, I remember one
Have him
guy.
seek out
Yeah.
revenge
Hey,
for
let's
us.
get Scott Arnold, your guy, and then my guy was Jared Bartlett. And I guarantee you, he's missing half his teeth now. I assure you, New Iberia, Louisiana, it doesn't turn out pretty people in the end.
I don't.
This
wish
guy
it.
that- this
I
guy
hope
ended-
Scott Arnold's doing good. I don't wish anybody.
No,
No,
we're just
Marshall,
we're
no.
just picking.
This
we're
guy
just picking.
that I'm talking about actually ended up doing you being a pretty good dude in the long run, but I had to get that one back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had to get it back. 'Cause, I mean, you can't hold somebody responsible for who they were in the 8th grade.
Right.
No, not at all.
But I can get mine back just a little bit. I didn't hurt him,
Yeah.
but I fixed it for me inside. So you signed up for martial arts then in response to this
Yeah.
epic beating.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
What style?
What style? I started training with Max Bishop.
The legendary Max
Yeah,
Bishop.
so you know what style that is. It's just a
Mule style.
kind of just badass.
So tell
style,
everybody who
killer
Max
style.
Bishop is.
Max Bishop is pretty much a crazy adventurer that rides mules up mountains and kills pigs and cows with his bare hands and put them over his shoulder. And he does it while his 3-year-old daughter is riding a mule by herself beside him. And then he'll stop in and teach people how to snap people's legs and knees.
Is he the best leg locker you've ever met?
Yeah, I think so.
He's been responsible for training some really high level leg lockers.
Yeah.
Really high level.
Yeah.
Joe Bays is a Max Bishop disciple, if I'm not mistaken. And he's like one of the best leg lockers in the world right now.
Rolly
Ole
Delgado.
Delgado, yep. A lot of guys. You're a great leg lock. People don't understand how good you are at leg locks.
Got a little bit, got a little skill. And I Boston Crab, got the Boston Crab from Max Bishop. He tapped me with that a lot of times.
That's one of the best moves in all the game, dude.
It's awesome. It's awesome. But yeah, that's Max Bishop, man. I think he went to leg locks just because one thing I learned from Max Bishop is to forget what's cool or popular or whatever. Is just to martial arts is about figuring out what works or the evolution of martial arts. That's why
That's Jeet Kune Do philosophy. That's Bruce Lee's whole idea.
Exactly. So yeah, he came from that. Jeet Kune Do and
Hayastan.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, Filipino stuff. Like he does a stick fighting and knife fighting and all that. And he used to be in like secret services or something. I'm not really
Something
sure.
crazy.
CIA.
What, for real? I didn't know that part.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Who's in the CIA?
Yeah, you can't tell.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know how you tell somebody's in the CIA. I thought you weren't supposed to be able to tell.
Yeah, no. See, he was CIA when 18 years old, because his dad was high up CIA or whatever, and yeah.
Dude, I wish Eddie Bravo was here.
He was
right
on the
now.
Reagan security crew, Ronald Reagan.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you, man. Yeah.
Dude, he's a crazy person.
Bishop, yeah, I know. So he, all his martial arts training and everything was try to figure out actually how to
kill a man,
how to kill people and beat people and stuff. So he, just like he does now, he's always traveled and just looked for these experiences and these adventures and trying to figure out, what's the best. That's why he rides mules now instead of horses, because he figured out the things he wants to do with horses he couldn't do. So he's exclusively with mules, because it doesn't matter. The mule is uglier than a horse and has a real narrow hips and these long, ugly ears. The mule is way stronger, way more brave and can do the crazy stuff that he wants to do. So the same reason, that's why, he evolved through all the martial arts and came to the leg locks.
He's just a man of practicality.
That's incredible.
Exactly.
That's just that's some awesome evolution.
It's an interesting way of like just seeing the world. Like he just sees everything
Very
through that
realistic.
filter of
Yeah,
I want
very
the best.
realistic.
is it real?
Yeah.
Does it work? Does it accomplish? It's very pragmatic.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the late 90s, even, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he was on top of that wave, you know what I mean? He got his blue belt, purple belt, something from Hoist Gracie or whatever, back when Hoist Gracie was one of the only people doing seminars around or whatever, And then he met Gokor, and he realized real quickly that, like, you could beat the Brazilian guys, like, super fast because their legs are right there. They're using the guard. You can just break their leg and forget all the other jiu-jitsu stuff.
Yeah, Gokor was like, the legends of Gokor are vast.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to be set up to fight Hickson at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
people didn't know what was going to happen. Of course.
He would have broke his leg probably.
You think so?
I think so.
Man.
Gokor's a bad man.
Yeah. Dude, Scaff, he trains, he's one of my guys, and he incredible brown belt, and he works here at the gym full time.
Mm-hmm.
But his I may mess this up, but I believe it's his first cousin, or it might be his uncle or something. It's a close family member. Is one of Gokor's first black belts.
Okay.
So Scaff didn't know this. Like, he knew the guy. His name's George. He knew George, but he didn't know that he was into grappling and stuff. So George lives out in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
It just, you know, and he's like, George has been telling my parents, oh yeah, I do jiu-jitsu too. You should tell Matt to come out. And of course, Scaff hears that and he's like, yeah, he does some kind of like little kid karate or something like that. And so he's just like dismissing it. So he come to find out he's one of Gokor's like top dogs.
Yeah.
And so when we go out, I took Scaff out to LA with me to train at Eddie's, to train at HQ. And Scaff ends up getting like a free private from Gokor. He's like, oh, if you're with George, you're with me. And he's like spending all this time with Scaff. And Scaff rolled with him for like an hour, rolled with Gokor for like an hour. And he said, dude, I've never seen anybody that can do some of the stuff that he can do. He said he was throwing me, like, as soon as we would touch, he would just like pulse me and drop me to the ground, like, and just brutalize me and stuff. But Scaff picked up a detail on the straight ankle from him that was so good. Like, I think I might have been a purple belt at this time. But there was a detail on the straight ankle that I had never seen before. It's like a whole, not just a detail, but like a whole way of doing the straight ankle lock.
Yeah.
That was like, whoa, why would you do it that way? I was like, no way that works. But it was such a, like, huge things that he brought it back to the hotel, and we learned it in the hotel, and I used it and tapped 2 black belts with it that night when we went to training. And so I was like, oh, shoot. And so I brought that home, and I just obsessed over it,
That's cool.
But yeah, anyway.
No, that's
Gokor,
great.
amazing, yeah.
Gokor's awesome, man. Max Bishop was the highest ranking Gokor instructor for a long time, and he's among the highest rank. He has the highest rank with like a couple of the guys. Maybe
And so
like
that's who
one or
you
two.
started with. That was your first
Max
instructor.
Bishop.
But you did
I
Taekwondo or
did
something
Tang
too,
Sudo.
right?
I did Tang Sudo.
That's what I did. Yeah, Tang Sudo.
Yeah, the guy that I started training with when I was like 8 years old in Tang Sudo was training under Max Bishop.
What was his name? That was Joey?
Randy O'Neill.
Randy O'Neill.
I didn't
Where
meet
does Joey Perry come into the...
That's that was more like after. That's whenever I was like college age.
I gotcha.
And then I was. He gave me a job teaching for him, so I had already had martial arts experience and
I gotcha.
everything. So, yeah.
Joey's a cool guy. Real
Yes.
nice guy.
Yeah, he is. Heck yeah. So, yeah, that was more of like, I learned business from him and started teaching with him and stuff. But yeah, Randy O'Neill was my first instructor. He really, when you're that age, you're influenced, easy.
Yeah.
So I think that experience with him kind of set the tone for the next thing, So he introduced me into bodybuilding and jiu-jitsu and Max Bishop, and Hoist Gracie. I mean, I remember I was probably like 10 years old, and he went to a Hoist Gracie seminar. He had the pictures and stuff and was telling me all about it. I'm like, well, what is jiu-jitsu? He was explaining to me what Brazilian jiu-jitsu
That's South
was and
American
stuff.
ground karate.
Yeah, it was very interesting, So he was always talking about Max Bishop, and Max lived like 45 minutes away or something, which was where I'm from is like
It's nothing.
it's a long ways away.
Yeah.
It's a long ways away. I mean, it's nothing now, but back then it was like so far away. You used to stay in your little
Yeah, man, I know.
area or whatever.
I know.
But yeah. So, anyways, got to work with Max Bishop later on and learned a bunch of stuff from him. He had me fighting pretty soon. I was 14.
How old were you when you took your first fight? 14?
Mm-hmm.
So just like Jason.
Just like Jason.
Interesting.
1998.
Yeah, I was watching your fight with Akiyama at UFC 100, where you won Fight of the Night honors and won a $100,000 Fight of the Night bonus.
Yep.
The largest bonus in UFC history at the time. Did you know that?
That is.
That it was the largest?
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the time, it was the largest one that they had
think I
ever
did.
given.
Is it because it was 100?
Probably because it was
Yeah.
100.
UFC 100.
UFC 100. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
But anyway, I say that to say that in the lead up to it, Rogan's like, Belcher's still young. He's 25 years old. It's like, whoa, man. He was like, that's just like Jason. He's 25 now or 24, something like that.
He's 25, I think. Yeah.
And probably about the same amount of fights in the UFC.
Yep.
At this point that you had when you were that age. Both started fighting super early.
Yep.
Both dirty rednecks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that remix in the side of his head.
Oh man. Yeah. He's a different level redneck than me. So let's not get
True story.
Man, when I met
He's a dirty redneck.
He is.
You're just a regular
I fought in
redneck.
one of those. I fought in one of those slugfest competitions, just the knockout competitions. And I met Jason Knight because I was out there in my hoodie trying to pump myself up out at the Coliseum.
You have to listen to some Backstreet Boys or whatever it is.
Dude,
you
I
listen
think
to.
it must have been in sync. I wasn't in the Backstreet Boys.
Tearing up my heart.
But Jason Knight was sitting in the back of his pickup truck with a bunch of guys from the gym, and he was wearing his cowboy boots or like mud stompers, whatever, and he had his jeans rolled up and a dirty ass t-shirt and a little Budweiser hat, and he was just throwing back Bud, man. And it was funny because
He was 14 years old.
no,
Just drunk.
this was probably like 2 years ago, and so it was funny because he's like, "Hey man, you want a beer?" I was like, "Man, I'm about to fight in there," and he's like,
Me too.
So what? Yeah, me too. That was when I met Jason Knight, man. And so he is exactly who you see him on
Yeah.
TV. It's so
Yeah.
funny, dude.
He's one of my favorite guys. Dude.
Yeah, he's
Like,
awesome.
I love training with him. He loves to talk trash too.
He's a good dude.
Well, he's just so chill, man. Like he doesn't, you can get in there and like y'all could be working each other over.
Yeah.
And he's just running his mouth the whole time. But it's just the way he is. Like,
Yeah, that's just who he
he's
is.
a good kid.
That's part of it, man. Yeah, he's always done that. He made it part of his style though, and like a strength.
Yeah.
Because I used to give him a hard time about it. I was like, dude,
You got to shut up.
shut up, stop doing it, and then I would try to kick his ass, for doing it.
Yeah.
but it's part of his game now. He can back it up.
Oh yeah, he can definitely back it up, man. He's how's he doing after the loss? He take it well?
Yeah.
After this recent one?
Shoot, yeah, he was over it right away.
That's so funny.
Right away, man. He has the best attitude ever. I don't know. He just doesn't have that little negative voice in his head that most of us have.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have it.
Was that a big struggle for you?
For me,
The negative voice, yeah?
Oh yeah, that would. If I had the attitude that Jason Knight had, I would have been champ. Seriously, at my losses, I would go into depression and like hide for
Really?
a while until finally I would just be like, ugh, I feel like crap. I got to get started, and then I would start back 100%, and then working towards the next thing or whatever. But that time, the time that you spend down, like thinking about it, like it's
Wasted time.
Dude, yeah, that's the most important time right there. You just got to go to the next one. Losses are all part of it. Every loss, I thought that was the end of the world. So stupid.
Through your whole career, did it get better as you got deeper into your career?
No, not really. I mean, yeah.
Even your last loss was your last fight was with Bisping.
Yeah.
Right? That was your
Yeah.
last fight. So after that one,
that
same
one
thing?
was more. My last two were just. I didn't put a lot of energy into them. I don't know why. I just wasn't. I
You just kind of dying and didn't realize it.
Yeah, I didn't just put enough effort into those. And then the Bisping fight was just because the eye poke.
Was that a
and
no
everything.
contest or a loss?
It was a loss.
It was a loss.
Technical decision.
Yeah.
UFC 159.
Could have been a no contest. Whatever.
That was a pretty close fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, if I recall. I didn't seen it recently.
yeah. I mean, the first round was really just all stand up.
Yeah.
And then I got real tired in the second round, so it wasn't looking very good for me. But they went to the scorecards because it was halfway through the fight or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that fight really, to tell you the truth, was more. Afterwards was just kind of like I had to make the decision of whether I wanted to keep fighting or not because of I felt like that was like some type of a sign telling me, oh shit, you had these eye surgeries and you got poked in this eye, and then I had to have the.
So what was the situation with you? I remember, like you had issues with your eye or a detached retina. Or
Yeah, I
something
had a
like that.
detached retina in 2010.
How did that happen?
So how did it happen? I don't know how exactly it happened. I just woke up and it happened, but it was some.
So it wasn't like a specific injury.
No, it was some type of a tear on my retina, probably more than likely, that continued to get worse, and then all of a sudden the fluid goes in and pushes it off, and it detaches. So if you ever see like spots and you think that you might have something, you need to get it fixed because otherwise it'll lead to a detached retina. So sometimes you have a tear in your retina and there's nothing, all you might see like a little bit of blood, little floaters or something. See what I'm
I
saying?
feel like everyone that's listening is doing that right now.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
closing
sitting
their
there
eyes
thinking
and open it.
I'm
doing it
Do
too.
I have a detached retina right now, bro? I'm
Yeah.
getting kind of nervous.
Yeah, so anyways, that, so I just woke up and it was detached. So that time, it was interesting because I had a lot of momentum going and I had a streak going. And Damian Maya were going to fight for top contender fight. So it's kind of like the fight that Jason just had. Actually higher, really. It was more like everyone just said Belcher Maya. That's the top two. So
Yeah.
he was 2 and 3.
Yeah, because you had beaten. So you beat
On
Dennis,
all- yeah.
you beat Ed Herman, then you beat Dennis Kang, then you lost to Akiyama, which at the time I thought you won that fight.
Right.
I'll need to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you won the fight?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you still feel like you won that fight?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought at the time
But,
you won it. Then you beat Wilson Govea, which was a big win at the time. He was doing pretty well at that time. Mm-hmm. Then you beat Patrick Cote. So you stopped Govea, you subbed Cote, you subbed Jason McDonald, you knocked out Paul Harris, which is like your big claim to fame. I think I don't know. In my opinion, that was your biggest win because he was a destroyer at that time.
Yeah.
Then you lost to Okami, and then it was Bisping.
So go back to if you see Akiyama After that, I beat Gouveia and Cote.
Yeah, bang bang.
Yeah, Gouveia and Cote. So that's the point. Both of those were first round stoppages.
Cote was second round, right?
Oh, okay, Cote. Okay, but both of them were finishes. And
Dennis Kang was a bonus. Akiyama was a bonus. Gouveia was a bonus. Cote was a bonus. You had 4 in a row.
yes,
You were racking up, son.
exactly. So
You got paid.
Yeah, and they were all top. They were all top 10 guys.
Yep.
All four were bonuses. King was like on world rankings was
Yeah, they
top.
thought-
He was number 1 in the world and he came to the UFC and they're like, oh, put it against this guy that's like
giving
top
this
20
kid
or
who
something.
just barely scraped by it.
Exactly. So that right there should have moved me up to like top 5 or something, but I was still barely. That might have put me in the top 10. So that and then so I beat 4 top 10 guys, got 4 bonuses in a row, and mostly finishes. That at that point, most rankings had me and Maya at either, however you look at it, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 at the worst. So we were the 2 guys that made sense to see who would win to fight Anderson Silva. So that was the point I was at. And at that time, my diet was dialed in. I had the trainer that I had been working with for about 2 years. We had been progressing for 2 years with nonstop. I would take a little bit of time after the fights, but I was winning, so I wasn't going through that like depression and everything. So I was winning, so every fight I was getting back on. So we were like,
You were winning
2 years
quick. You
going
weren't
in.
like having these hard grinding matches.
So I had a couple months out. Me and Maya were on the poster, both of us. Like the main poster pick was going to be Austin, Texas, and I was like the best shape of my life. And I was like, oh shit, like this is the time. I'm already like I'm in fight shape right now. I feel like I beat anyone in the world, and I'm gonna take it to the next level.
Where were you training full time at that? Were you living up there in Milwaukee with Rufus and those guys?
And I wasn't living. I would just go there for a month before the fights. I was go for the month before the fights, and then Daniel Marias was at that time my main coach that I hired to be with me all the time.
Yeah.
So he would travel with me to camp. He would be with me in Mississippi, and at that time we were like, okay, let's go to Brazil to train for Maya, so we can just have all the black belts in Rio just come and just round robin, just let's go. So that was the plan.
Were you already a black belt at that time? I know you were a brown belt when you fought Akiyama.
I was a black belt after Cote. Pretty soon after the Cote fight, Seneca gave me the black belt.
The black belt.
No, I wasn't a black belt. I wasn't black. I take it back. I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't a black belt yet.
When did that happen?
2011.
Okay.
6 years ago, because I'm gonna get second degree right in like a month or 2. Okay, so everything's lined up. I go to Brazil. I bring this big ass machine that I paid like $10,000 for that replicates high altitude training. So
You still got that thing?
Yeah, I still have it.
That's pretty cool.
So I got this machine you turn on, and you take the hose, you can put it inside, plug it into a tent, and sleep in the tent.
Yeah, it's a
Or you put it on a
hyperbaric chamber. Is that what it's called?
No, that's different. Hyperbaric chamber is something you get in like a casket and there's pressure or something.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, this pumps out air. So if you put it in a tent, you sleep in the tent, the oxygen in there is thin, like your elevation. Or you put a mask on and you sit there and watch TV at like 20,000 feet, and you get real lightheaded and you wear it for several hours.
That's kind of cool.
Or you turn it down a little bit,
You
walk
could go
on
through
a
like a
treadmill.
whole season of Game of Thrones and come out as like a bad cardio machine.
Exactly. So, dude, I was
Tyrion.
I was in super good. I was in super good shape. I was using that. I was sleeping in the tent at night, and then I would alternate days of 2 hours of TV, and then the other days I would do 15 minutes walking on a treadmill turned all the way up. And this was the time. So I went to Brazil. I'm like, I'm taking this machine. I'm in badass shape. Like, I was in killer shape, man. And I was doing all the agility and strength and conditioning. And I could train 2 or 3 times a day. And so we went down there. And, like, straight off the plane, I went down. And, like, we just had big-ass 250-pound black belts just coming at me. And I was wrestling. And I was doing great again. I just felt killer. So, like, first week goes by. And it's just everything's going perfect. And then all of a sudden, I just wake up one morning and I couldn't see out of my eye. So automatically I'm like, oh shit. And like the way my weakness was I need everything lined up perfectly.
You start
Like when
getting
everything's
nervous,
everything's going good for me, like I'm on top of the world. But any type of roadblock or anything is like a huge setback. You know what I mean? So that's something I've kind of overcame since then. But so automatically I woke up that morning, I couldn't see, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't I like everything is perfect in my life right now, and I'm happy and I'm in the best shape of my life. I got this fight coming up, and I start freaking out. So that was like the beginning of like the worst year ever. It was crazy. So we go to the doctor, and he's like, oh, you got to go home right away, get emergency surgery, or you're going to be blind. Like, you got to take care of this in 24 hours. So I go straight. We calling up the eye surgeon back in Alabama. I did it in Mobile, Alabama. We found the best eye surgeon that does these detached retina things. His name's Dr. Simple. And
It's kind of scary.
Dr. Simple.
For someone who does something so complex.
So we go. I mean,
Yeah, I believe I can probably fix that eye for you.
it's simple.
That ain't gonna be no problem at all. I got that, bud.
Yeah, no, yeah, but brilliant guy, really. So we go straight off the plane, straight into surgery right away, and it was crazy. Yeah, so had the surgery. They put a buckle around my eye, plastic, basically like a zip tie, zip, around my eyeball.
Whoa.
And it was woven in, so like they cut little things around the skin of your eye, and then they weave it in like a belt, and then zip it up.
What?
Oh.
Oh my gosh! I'm freaking
Yeah.
out just
I know,
hearing
it's
it.
crazy. It's a zip tie. So this is a surgery that is over 100 years old.
They
They've
still
been
do it the same way.
They've been doing it the same way.
Dr. Simple.
Except now they use zip ties, basically. And back in the day, they used like a metal thing.
Oh, Jesus
God,
Christ.
dude,
A belt buckle
I'm
or something.
freaking out just hearing this.
A leather
I feel
belt.
like my skin, like sweating.
Dude, so it's crazy. So they put the buckle on your eye, and basically what it does is, your eyes kind of, the back wall is kind of flat. Not flat, but just kind of, I don't know how to explain it.
I don't either.
The
It's
curve.
like flat Earth.
Yeah, it's
back of
flatter. It's flatter, normal, But when they put a buckle on it, it makes your eye into a football. And
Oh,
it kinda,
Jesus.
So the back kind of crunches down. The retina's on the back there, So basically, I don't know, they stick a needle in or something and like push it on there and then clamp it down. So now the retina's back there. So your eyes like clamp down or whatever. So exactly, tremendous pain. So you just got like this eye ache or whatever right away, and you can't see because this
Are you
actually
asleep when they do
that's
this
the
to
reason
you?
I can't see now. Like a lot of people, like my retina and everything is perfectly healed up. But the reason I can't see is because my eye is shaped like a football, and so the front of my eye is like this, so I can't see because the lens is all messed up.
I didn't know you had trouble seeing out of it still.
Yeah, I can see perfectly with both eyes open. It's just like that I can't see. And my brain, so I'm good. And then I don't have peripheral vision. So I run into things like, I would be like right here.
Smack the mic.
So that happened. And then I go back, and probably about 5 weeks in, I started seeing floaters again. Next day I wake up blind
see.
again.
No way.
Same thing happens again. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm blind again. What the hell? So we call him up. He's like, oh yeah, it detached again.
Oh, Doctor Complicated. Doctor Little Extra
It might be a
Complex.
little more complicated than I thought. So we go back. This time they can't do the same surgery again. So they
Because your eye's already a football.
Yes, exactly. You can't be more of a football. So this time they do a surgery where they basically just inject a gas bubble into your eye. And now whenever your head goes down, the gas bubble goes up. So it pushes the retina on the back. Okay? So the trick is your face has to be down for like 6 weeks.
What?
Exactly. So they go
Brandt
in,
got excited.
They put,
He's like,
they
face
put the
down
gas,
for
they
6
put the
weeks,
gas
shoot.
bubble in my eye. So then I buy a massage
Back to that.
table, and then I sleep on the massage table for 6 weeks. So I have to spend the majority of the day. I'm supposed to only be upright for like 4 hours a day. The rest of the time I have to be down.
Did you
face
put like a
down.
TV on the floor or something?
Yeah, I mean everything. iPad, you know, this is the time when I really like I had no choice but to like read books and stuff. So I hated
So
reading.
you had to
stuff.
learn to read.
Yeah, a lot of people, my friends, could. Yeah,
Arkansas.
I tried. Yeah, a lot of my friends that kind of knew what was going on, they gave me books and stuff, you know. So, yeah, so that's kind of what happened with that. That was terrible, you know. And also at the same time, I had just won those 4 fights, right, in the previous time to that, and my gym was doing really good because I was in the UFC, and I was working the business. Like I knew I was at least smart enough to know that, like, okay, I take this money and
Do
I
something smart with
I
it,
paid
yeah.
for billboards, you know. I paid for radio. I got someone to do a TV commercial
Just
and
for the
TV
gym?
ads. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I did with my money, you know, because I didn't really know it was investing, but you know, I invested in my business. I paid
Which is like the best
tons of
investment
money
you can make.
for advertising and stuff. So I spent a good bit of money on advertising. I also bought, you know, me and my wife cars. We bought a new house, you know. She upgraded her ring to like a, you know, $15,000 ring. You know, we bought a $8,000 kitchen table. You know, we got new furniture.
I'm kind of mad at you. I want to poke you in the eye right now for spending all that money.
I know. So, but I invested in my business, which made the business more profitable, right? So we did spend some, but I ended up making a lot. You know, like the gym just exploded, you know, because I was actually marketing and advertising.
And you're one of the hottest fighters in the UFC at this time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's blowing
Who
up.
wouldn't want to come train
Yeah,
there?
and then it's blowing up. And then
Scott Arnold.
I
that's
got,
it.
yeah. Forget that guy.
I'm going to poke him in the eye.
Yeah. So we got
Send him to
a
Dr.
lot of money. A lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what happens is, though, if you don't know anything about taxes, you don't know anything about taxes.
You
So
don't know
then,
nothing about money, yeah.
so it wasn't long when I was kind of running out of money, you know. And then I had like a couple training camps, and it was just like one of those times. Maybe I lost a good employee or something, and then the gym just kind of was tanking. And then I was like, you know, I'm going to training camp. Went to training camp, fought a fight, won a bonus. Gym's still kind of going down. Then I go to Brazil, and then I come back. I got this eye surgery, so now I'm face down and stuff. I'm just like, forget the gym for now. It's cool. We got money to live on, so I'm just spending, and then all of a sudden, like, no money. You know, well, things pop up. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand, like, how you lose that money. Well, you know, when you got money, there's always someone in your family that needs $10,000 to save their mortgage.
Yeah.
Or
Something.
exactly, you gotta pay your mom's car note or something, or help your dad out or something, or a friend is got something going. You know what I mean? There's always somebody that needs it, and you got it, so you feel you're obligated to give it to them. And then you have your own personal stuff come up. I pay cash for the surgery, you know, which is pretty expensive surgery. And then all of a sudden, when previously we had multiple $100,000s in the bank, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, boom, nothing in the bank account. The bank account got down to like $400 or something.
What?
Yeah, I swear. And then letter comes in the mail from the IRS, says that I owe $65,000. Got $400. So like, damn, this is rough. I can't fight. I really don't know if I should ever fight again. you know. So now I'm like, dude, I wish I would just fight just so I can make money right now. But that was not an option. I could not fight my way out of it and get money or whatever. So that's when I really said, you know what? I have to learn how to make money with my business. You know, so I just put training and fighting on the back burner, and I just went in and just made enough money in my gym to pay the IRS and, move forward. And I set up everything that time the correct way. You know, hired people. I got...
Yeah, well, you had learned from the mistakes that you had made.
Exactly. You know, I set up systems, and people, you know, they weren't coming in at that time because I was fighting. They're like, oh, this guy's injured, and so I'm going into a period of time where I'm like, oh, I don't have this attraction, you know, that was going on. So I got to learn how to market and learn some things about marketing and sales, and just started going. And then once about, I don't know how long went by, about a year, I guess. A year went by until my next fight. I finally...
Let's see, so Cote was May of 2010, and then the next one was Jason McDonald in September of 2011, so a year and a half.
Year and a half. So about a year went by where I didn't train and I didn't think about fighting or anything. Literally.
At that point, were you thinking that's it, I'm done?
Yeah. So May, I didn't know. I was pretty much thinking. So there was a lot of, I went just into business mode. I was like, I think I'm done fighting, so I just have to, you know, run my business and everything. My wife had already quit her job years before that, and so we were just living from the gym. So a year went by where I just worked on the business, and it took about a year, you know, to get back financially stable, get the gym going and everything again. And then I was like, you know what? Doctor gave me thumbs up. He said it's up to me, you know. Basically, my risk to go back to fighting was you can't see real good out of this eye, so if you screw this one up, then you're going to have problems. But right now, at least you got one good one. So that was my thing. Okay, do I risk it? And I was like, screw it. I was too close. I got to do this again. So going back, that training camp, going back into it, I didn't hardly do any sparring or anything. I was super scared of my eye. Mm-hmm. And I fought Jason McDonald in New Orleans. Everybody came out. It was awesome, man. I crushed him.
It was like your big return to glory.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I crushed him, and you know, had a couple good fights there, you know, and then but I never really returned to that full momentum that I had, because I was just too deep in the business at that time. I was like, I knew it
to the training momentum that you had.
Yeah.
But as far as your the next fight was Paul Hushimata Palhares.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, you know what? That fight, the way I would explain the success of that fight was really just a one-off personal challenge. I wasn't thinking about being the best, you know, and that one.
You were thinking about beating that dude.
Yeah, I was just, and you know what? I remember when I took that fight, and I was talking to Joe Silva about my next fight and everything, and I really didn't. I wasn't in a real hurry. If you look at my record, I took a long time between each fight. So McDonald was September 2011, Palhares was May 2012. So that's another year and a half. Yeah? No. I'm retarded. 6 months.
That's 6 months. I was adding an extra.
Yeah, 6 months, which is a pretty long time. Like, if I would push for it, I could have fought in 3 months, but I wanted to get back into business. Every time I took the fights from that point on, I get the fight over, I'm like, oh, I got to get back to business because I got stuff going on, you know, and I knew that eventually I'd have to live off my business and everything. So I was pulled in multiple directions. And then the Palhares fight, this was my mindset behind it. I was like, he was like, well, you can fight Palhares. He's not necessarily ranked like a top contender or anything, but he might have been. I don't remember. Just the thing was, nobody really wanted to fight him because he was hurting everyone.
Because he wouldn't let go of submission. So
exactly.
At that point, he had Sub Linares with a heel hook, Drawal with a heel hook. He had the fight against Marquardt where he thought he won.
DQ'd.
Yeah, and then got smacked up. And then he submitted David Branch with a knee bar, Macenzio with a heel hook, and then here comes you. He submitted Macenzio right before you in a minute. Sub of the night.
Yeah.
Heel hook.
Yeah.
And he won't let go of him. People are scared to death of this
Yeah,
guy.
exactly. So I'm talking to Joe
a career
Silva, and
ender.
Joe Silva's like, well, there is probably ours, but that's not a good matchup for you. And, like, nobody really wants to fight him, like, so he just kind of, like, marked that off. I was like, no, I want to fight that guy. Because I knew that I wasn't really into fighting anymore. And I was looking for that fire to kind of get me going, So I was like, I want that
So you
fight.
took it because it was a scary fight.
Yes, because
even though it didn't make career sense at the time.
I did not care about my career at all in that time. I was really just trying to feel like passion for fighting again. So I was like, I want to fight him because I know I have no choice but to be passionate about it.
And it worked.
It worked, dude. It worked. And then, we started talking about it, who we would bring in for it. And then, everyone was like, oh, you got to be like, he's going to be really good at it, and it just started building in my head. I just built this, like, good fear, and it made me train really hard, and I trained specifically for it and had a good little performance. And then after that fight, I went right straight back into business, like, all right, the fight's over. I got to get back in my business. I've been taking the last couple months off, do business again. And then who did I fight after that?
Next was Okami in December of 2012. So probably 7 months later, you lost the decision to Okami. And then the next, probably another 6 months, it looks like you lost to Bisping.
Yeah.
And then you took a long time before you announced your retirement after that.
Yep.
Well, I remember
Bisping poked you in the eye. That's what happened, right? Because he poked.
Yeah,
he
so
got
that's
poked
same
in the
eye.
eyeball.
Yeah, so that's what happened. The Okami fight.
Bisping put some cheese in your
I
ear.
don't know how to. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain the Okami fight because that was the second time I fought him in my career.
Yeah.
The first time
yeah,
I just
that's
didn't.
true.
I didn't have the skills to fight him. The first time I went in on short notice. That was my first UFC fight.
Yeah, it was.
And I fought my ass off and made it competitive, but he was just too skilled with wrestling and grappling and stuff. I was on that level. So the next time I was going to fight him, I was like, I'm going to beat this dude this time. And I was like, no way he's going to take me down. And it was just a super weird fight. Because he got a hold of me, and I felt like this dude cannot take me down. He tried to throw me, and I kind of scrambled. I ended up on top. I was on mount on him for a second, then he moved at, whatever, and then he tried to double leg me, and then I got the guillotine. I'm like, I'm about to finish him. And then I went down for the guillotine, and then he ended up getting out of it, and then I couldn't get up, And then I think that might have happened twice. So
I don't
he
remember
didn't
that fight
actually.
at all.
It was weird because I spent the whole fight on my back. I couldn't get up, but he never scored a takedown on me. It
You
was
were
always
jumping
for me.
guard
It was
or
me
something?
jumping guard and stuff. So it was like really frustrating. I'm like, oh, that was my chance to revenge that loss, And it sucked. So after that, I went back and just didn't train. Went working on business and stuff for a while, and then the Bisping opportunity, we kind of just created that opportunity, like, let's do this publicity stunt and, go back and forth, bad-mouthing Bisping. And I hired a video guy. We started doing videos and making YouTube videos and stuff, going back and forth with Bisping. And I trained hard.
Was he in on? Bisping was in on that, or you just were
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm just gonna
I
call
mean,
him out?
But we didn't talk about. We didn't say, hey, we're going to have this plan to do
I
this.
gotcha.
But we both knew that we would benefit from that type of publicity,
Yeah.
or whatever. So yeah, there was no real, hatred or anything there.
It was manufactured.
Yeah, so we were going back and forth, and it was funny and stuff. We got a lot of publicity, and I trained hard for that fight. I really did. I trained hard, and my skills, the longer you train and stuff, you keep getting better. So, I had to be the peak of my skills, and I was in good shape and everything. It was just a weight cut for both of those fights. The Akiyama and the Bisping fight was just, I tried so hard to get my weight down, but I was still not. I was 205 at the lightest the week of the fight.
Good grief.
And I was working super hard to get my weight down, you know. And I was just starving myself and doing tons of cardio, and I was just stuck, and I could not get below 205. So both of those,
So you cut 20 pounds of water a week of.
20 pounds of water.
Good grief, dude.
In both of those fights. So those were my worst 2 weight cuts. So that's
Johnny Cash was all drawn out and
Yeah.
stuff on your arm.
Yeah,
He turned into Patsy Cline.
He
Week of the
turned
fight.
he turned into the crackhead Johnny Cash. So yeah, man, those were just. I got tired in those fights, and then I got poked in the eye by Bisping. It cut my eyelid, and I spent all night freaking getting it stitched up.
And freaking out, probably.
Yeah, it was terrible. So I was like, dude, how can I do that? I already went through those other 2 eye surgeries, and I got poked in this one, and I'm like, geez, what if I got poked in the other eye, you know, and like blinded me or something? That would suck. So I thought about that for a while, and then, you know, still I was 29, so I was like, I'm too young to stop doing this, man. I was too close. In 2010, like I was right there. I won that fight against Maya. I would have fought Anderson Silva, you know. Then I went back. I beat Palhares and McDonald, and I was right there again. I was fighting the top guys. Akiyama and Bisping were freaking, you know, top ranked 2 and 3 or something in our division. And I was like, man, I'm super close. But what about the weight cut thing? Do I need to move up to 205? Do I need to even fight anymore? So I just asked myself these questions and everything. For about a year, I kind of laid low, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to kind of reinvent myself and like start lifting weights, get strong, and just do it right and be 205. Just be strong, big and strong at 205.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I started focusing on, you know, strength and conditioning, getting bigger. I put on a little bit of weight, and I told everybody, you know what, I'm coming back at 205. But at the same time, I was doing business. You know, I had all kinds of projects going on, and I think we were just opening our second location at that time. And I just never, my heart, everyone was excited for it. I was like, you know what? You know, one day I'm feeling good. I'm like, I'm going to fight again at 205. Everybody gets super excited about it. It's kind of in the back of my mind, but really wasn't my life goal at that time, you know. So it was strange times until, you know, finally I was like, you know what? I got to choose one thing. Am I going to be a successful business owner and walk away from fighting and be really good at that? Or am I going to go all in on fighting? So I was like, man, I don't know what my deciding factor was, but I was just like, one of the things was, if I do this now, I guess I was 30, 31, you know, I have plenty of time. You know, by the time I'm 40, I can have a lot of business income coming in,
you
a lot of
can be a
investments.
multimillionaire by that time.
Exactly. If I do it right, you know.
We'll put the attention into that and like the work ethic into
Instead
that.
of half-assing fighting, you know, and that's what it came into. I was like, if I go back, am I going to half-ass it? And I'm like, if I'm asking myself that question.
You already are, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So, dude, yeah. So I just said, you know what? I'm done. I'm retired. I'm going to go full. I'm going to start this consulting company, help other gym owners. I'm going to open up more gyms and just focus, boom, on business, man. So it's been pretty awesome the last couple of years.
You ever miss it? You ever think about going back to it?
Dude, yeah, all the time. All the time. I still train. I still like to train.
Yeah, I know.
I get in there and
we've trained together a lot.
You know, I get in there with Chase at heavyweight. You know, I'm sparring with him and stuff. And
He's a brute.
exactly, man. I'm like, damn, I could go with these heavyweight. I could go back at heavyweight, you know. But then I'm like, I don't feel like doing it every day. I have to do it when I want to.
One off at one time.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, well, you're still, I mean, really, you're still in your athletic prime. 33 or 34?
33.
33.
33.
What about injuries over your career, other than the eye, like joints, back, knees?
Nothing real serious, man. I don't know. I meet people that don't do jiu-jitsu and MMA that have it a lot worse.
Yeah, I tell that to like my mom, my granny too. She's like, when you gonna quit that fighting? You're killing yourself. Or I'm like, I'm in better shape than all of the people that are my age. Like
Yeah.
they're sitting in chairs all day long and breaking their bodies. Like they can't move. At least I'm,
Dude,
like
yeah.
my knee is pretty messed up, especially right now. My right knee is a disaster. I don't know what's going on with it, but I got a purple belt. He's had a torn ACL for like 2 years, and he won't even take a week off. I'm like, I can't let him out tough me. Like until he goes to have surgery, I'm not even going to the doctor. So I'm just like, I'm gonna wait on Eric to go have surgery before I can quit training. That's ridiculous.
awesome.
I guess it's awesome. It's kind of like the dumbest thing ever. Also, I'm not known as a intelligent man.
Yeah. Dude, I feel good. I feel better now than I did a couple years ago. Tell you the truth, that I stopped yo-yo dieting.
Well, you're in killer shape, dude.
Yeah.
You're a monster.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta get on weightlifting.
Wasn't there an article in San Diego that came
They're
out?
hard to pick up. They're so heavy.
Yeah, they are heavy.
Yeah.
That when we were in San Diego for our mastermind, and he went out to train somewhere, someone snapped a picture, and it ended up on the internet saying that he was a bodybuilder.
Oh no!
You remember?
Yeah, when we were in San Diego, we went to the mastermind retreat in San Diego,
Yep.
and this article while we were there was like Alan Belcher doubles in
Size, becomes a.
weight.
They said it was a bodybuilder and a fitness model. And I was just like, what is this crap? But the way they took the picture, he stood kind of in front of the guy, and he did look massive, but it was super funny. There's some funny stuff out there on the internet if you search his name, like with the tattoo thing. Yeah,
the Johnny Cash
We were
tattoo.
having fun with that over the weekend. Yeah,
You have a famous tattoo.
I do have a famous tattoo. He has a
Show it
famous
to the
tattoo in the
camera.
UFC.
Show your famous tattoo. To the
I have a
camera.
famous tattoo, I guess, in the world. It's been on BuzzFeed, and let's see if I can get to this guy. So I don't know if you can see it or it's in frame, but yeah, it says "Too cool for school" with the school bus, and the school's misspelled, and it was kind of on purpose and kind of not.
I don't think it can be both.
Well, I can tell you what happened was I was living in Hollywood at the time, and this was right after my activist days, after my movie came out, and so I was traveling with my. It was a documentary that they made about me. I used to live in a school bus, and I traveled the country and helped the poor. Basically, my bus ran off of vegetable oil, and I'd feed people and take them in and try to help restore their lives. It was a whole Jesus thing back in the day, and. Long story short, I always wanted a school bus tattooed on me. I have a special place in my heart.
Sociopath.
Exactly. I'm
sense.
out of my mind. And we were at a place called the Dream Center, which is it's an old hospital in Los Angeles that it's a Christian ministry, but every floor has a mission. And so there's a sex trafficking floor and a homeless floor, and it's wild. It's really cool, right in the heart of Hollywood. And I had friends that live there, and one of them is now, his name's Landon Sheely. He's a really famous folk artist. He used to tag trains in, his work is everywhere. It's beautiful. And you can look him up on Instagram. But Landon was like, hey, man, you got plenty of tattoos. You ready for a shitty one? And I was just like, well, not really, But at the time, I had stick and poke tattoos, and I was, we were doing little India ink and needles with the floss and everything, and I fully embraced the hobo, traveling, wanderer lifestyle for a while. And long story short, he wanted to give me a freehand tattoo with the tattoo gun, which is not the one that's on my leg. It's the one that's on my chest that says "Give it all away." Because at the time, I sold all my stuff and I was giving everything away, and I was just this crazy, wild hippie man or whatever. His cousin walks in, who is another, artist, and he's like, I just got this tattoo on my chest, and he's like, hey, man, you ready for another one? And I was like, not really. This thing is burning like crazy. And he's like, come on, man. His name's we called him Roost. He's from the Midwest somewhere. His name's Jacob. And long story short, he's like, look, let me just tattoo you on the leg and on the calf. It won't hurt that much. You got a lot of muscle, blah, blah, blah. So I thought about
He said
it.
you got a lot of muscle.
And so at the time, man, I was doing, I was hopping into dumpsters and doing all kind of crazy stuff. So I was pretty agile.
All the typical muscle building activities.
Absolutely, man. Eating out the trash. It was great.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
But long story short, he said, can I do anything I want? And I said, within reason. And I gave him what I want. I said, really, I want a tattoo of a school bus. So it was he did the school bus, which was terrible. It was also freehanded. And then come time for the words, he's doing it. And I think it was just absent-minded. Because I wanted a shitty tattoo. I wanted an ugly tattoo just to be funny. Because I'm at the point where I have so many, I can add a couple. And sure enough, I'm laying there on the floor of their room in the Dream Center. and I just hear him say, shit. And then, bzzz, and I'm like, what just happened? And he's like, oh, it's not a big deal, man. And he tries to fix it. So if you look at the tattoo, the SC is kind of light, and then the OOL is really dark, because I think he just sat there circling it, realizing he just messed up. And that's the story of the Too Cool for School tattoo. And so every once in a while, I'll get tagged in an article from like Vogue or BuzzFeed or
Like worst tattoos
in
the world.
This one was dailymail.uk, and it was like people too stupid to even be allowed to get tattoos or something. So
I'm in line with that article.
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so it breaks people's hearts sometimes to realize that it was kind of on purpose, but when they find out that Roost kind of messed it up on accident, it
Kind of salvages it a little
it makes
bit.
it a little better. Yeah, so Johnny Cash that's an iconic tattoo if you've ever watched the UFC.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so what we were saying is that we were researching ugly tattoos, and one of Alan's popped up, but they just said because of the weird, like locks that he would, get in, it would
was
make Johnny
always
Cash
right
look like
there,
Miss
yeah.
Piggy. Yeah.
What's gonna happen with
All right.
with McGregor and Mayweather, dude?
My prediction is that McGregor will win the first round, and then Mayweather will win all the rounds after that. That's what I think is going to happen.
Decision.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unanimous
that's
decision.
kind of what I think.
Unanimous decision, whatever that ends up.
What'd you think about that footage of Conor dropping Paulie that just came out?
That was interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
He cracked him with that left hand a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Had him stumbling a little bit.
Yeah, he knocked him on his tail.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
Well, it wasn't very much footage, obviously, to look at, but to see the way that McGregor was, how dominant he was in the tie-up, and like the way he manipulated, because of his grappling background, the way he manipulated the underhook, and it was very interesting. I think that was an interesting insight that people are missing out of that exchange. Like, he's going to dominate and tire Mayweather in the clinch,
Yeah.
if the referee will let him clinch a little bit.
Well, that's what Mayweather does. All he does is clinch.
Yeah.
That's how he wins. He
gonna
throws
be very,
throws
very-
one punch and clinches. But I just
That's a huge,
Mayweather's smart,
huge mistake
though.
if he does
I
that with
think-
McGregor.
I don't know if it is.
You don't think so? You think he wins that clinch? I think
I don't know what
Mayweather.
McGregor can do.
I think McGregor can hang on and make him tired like that. But now, listen, having said that, I don't think there's any way McGregor wins that fight.
Yeah.
What was the analogy? that
McGregor's the
Rogan
one that's
used?
going to get tired.
Yeah,
McGregor's going to get tired. It doesn't matter about clinching or anything. Mayweather's smart. People have tried to clinch him and bully him around and stuff. Did you see?
boxers have tried to clinch him. and
Oscar
bully him
De La
around.
Hoya had a really great game plan against him. Is like to really just be rough, push, lots of body shots, bully him up, grab him in the clinch, throw him around. And that didn't work very good. Mayweather, he's not going to use any energy. All he really does is he waits and he'll jump in, score one, and then he just puts his arms around the other guy's arms. He doesn't like really wrestle with them or
It'd
anything.
be awesome to watch
He just
McGregor
kinda-
throw him from there a couple of times, just sling him to the dirt.
Yeah, you can get DQ'd for
Little
that.
tie style.
Yeah,
So if you're too rough in the clinch, that's against the rules of boxing. You can't
because it's not a real fight.
can't wrestle someone.
What would happen?
Yeah, I mean,
what would happen with a
That drives
Superman
me-
punch,
hold
though?
on. That drives me nuts when people, like, you ever see people be like, or somebody posted, tagged me in a status on Facebook the other day, what's up with people calling jiu-jitsu a fight? It's not a fight. I'm like, okay, I get it. You can say that, but that means boxing's not a fight either. But nobody has trouble calling boxing a fight. Like, come on, man. Boxing's less of a fight than a jiu-jitsu match. Like, boxing has very limited rules.
Yeah.
Every time you start fighting in a boxing match, they break it up and make you box again.
Right.
You know?
That's true.
So, like, the chances of you getting injured in a jiu-jitsu match are way higher. Of course, the chances of you dying in a boxing match are way higher. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Neither one of them are a fight. If you're going to play that. Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just saying, from a rules perspective, what happens with a Superman punch because of the motion with the knee? You know, I
Well,
just
it just
kind
kind of rules it out as a threat. Not
I just kind of
rules
wonder
it out, but-
rather not rules like reactionary.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
how would he react to something? I mean,
punch.
yeah, you know, like I feel like you have
There's
to be
no
a little
possible way
inventive.
that a professional boxer would ever get hit by a Superman punch.
But not even that. Just as a
not
setup.
at that level.
What I'm saying is as a setup, because that's a strange kind of thing coming your way if you're used to certain movements.
Well, here's the thing, man. McGregor's biggest weapon
what is it
is what?
set up though in boxing? Because
Nothing.
all it does is make
I don't know.
You put your hands up, and then anything that comes after that, you already have your hands up.
Yeah. McGregor's biggest weapon is what? The straight left, right?
Yeah.
The big straight left. But like Mayweather is so fast. If that isn't set up absolutely perfectly, there's no way he's getting hit with that rear hand lead. Like there's no way. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I want McGregor to win. I would love for McGregor to win. Nothing would make me happier.
Yeah.
But I just,
If nothing else,
I
man,
can't
those suckers
see
are
it,
getting
man.
paid.
yeah, hey, look, I ain't mad at him. Good for him. Yeah, let's go get some lunch. You want to go get some food?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it. Dude, thank you for coming on. Tell everybody where they can like follow you on social media.
Oh God! Any media, any social media, just type in ALAN and then B after that, and just I dominate.
Dang.
Okay,
Got it.
you'll find me.
Noted. What about Snapchat though?
Can you do that on Snapchat?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Isn't
Oh,
it million a month?
Snapchat's $1 million a month.
See, there you go.
Or just put in my phone number 228-326. I'm not gonna give you the rest of my phone number.
Dang, so close. You almost got lit up with, all 18 of my followers almost blew you up.
Dude, it's so easy to find people now. Just Google me and start following me.
Dude, thank you for coming, man. Thanks for your friendship. Thanks for
Yep.
all the mentorship you've given me the last couple of years. Looking forward to
Thank you.
strengthening our relationship as we
love you,
continue,
man.
Love you too, buddy. Thanks, Brandt.
You
love
bet,
you too,
man. You're awesome. This is great.
Thanks, Steven. You didn't say anything, but I love you.
Love you, bro.
All right, B-Max Audio Adventures out.
Boom.